Let me tell you about one of the most chilling and truly unexplainable stories of the 20th century. It's a perfect locked room mystery, except the room was a 150-foot stone tower on a tiny island, 20 miles from the nearest living soul. This is the Flannan Isles Lighthouse. In December of 1900, it was manned by three men, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur. These were not rookies. They were tough, experienced keepers. They understood the isolation, they understood the duty, and the number one rule of that duty: you never let the light go out. On December 26th, the day after Christmas, a small steamship called the Hesperus was making its way to the island. It was a routine relief mission, bringing supplies and a fresh keeper, a man named Joseph Moore. As they got closer, the ship's captain, Jim Harvey, realized something was very, very wrong. The lighthouse was dark, in the middle of winter. No one was on the landing dock to catch the ropes. The supply box, meant to be restocked, was still sitting where they'd left it weeks before. The captain blew the ship's horn, no response. Joseph Moore, the relief keeper, felt a knot tighten in his stomach. He was rowed to the landing stage and began the long, steep climb up the stone stairs to the lighthouse all alone. And this is where the story goes from strange to terrifying. The first strange thing, the main door, was unlocked. Moore stepped inside. The second strange thing, the entire lighthouse was cold and dead. The clocks on the wall had all stopped. He walked into the kitchen, and what he saw there made the hair on his arms stand up. There was a half-eaten meal of meat and potatoes sitting on the table, as if someone had left in a hurry. A chair was toppled over, just left there. But it was the third strange thing that made absolutely no sense. The men's foul-weather gear, their heavy waterproof coats, they were still inside. You have to understand, you never left a lighthouse in the middle of a North Atlantic winter without your gear. It was a death sentence. Only one set of gear was missing, Donald MacArthur's. So, did two men go out without their coats? Why? But the final and most disturbing clue was the logbook. The last entries were chilling. On December 12th, Thomas Marshall wrote that a storm had hit them. A storm so bad, he said, "I have never seen such a storm." He wrote that James Ducat had been very quiet, and that Donald MacArthur, the toughest, brawlingest man of the three, had been crying. On December 13th, the log said the storm was still raging. The men were trapped, praying. God is over all. The final entry was on December 15th. Storm ended, sea calm. God is over all. Here is the problem. Official weather reports for the entire coast of Scotland on December 12th, 13th, and 14th show no storm. In fact, the weather was reported as calm. So, what storm were they writing about? What were they so terrified of that it made a hardened sailor cry? The official story is that a rogue wave, a single, massive, unexpected wave, crashed onto the cliff, and the men who had gone out to secure a supply crate were swept away. But does that explain the uneaten meal? The unlocked door? The stopped clocks? Does it explain why two men would run out into the cold without their coats? Other theories range from a fight that led to murder, to a shared creeping madness born from the isolation, to something else entirely. Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur were never seen again. Their bodies were never found. The island, it seems, just kept them. What do you think happened on that lonely rock? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoy diving into history's darkest mysteries, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. Thanks for watching.